Redfall runs at 30 FPS on Xbox Series X. Nintendo is having a fan fest. Dreams is sunsetting its servers. Nintendo is looking to find out who leaked Zelda. Joseph Staten has left Xbox, and the PlayStation Plus games have been announced. If you like our carpool content, please leave us a like and or subscribe. I'm Court Lalonde.
And I'm Seth Sturgill.
Our first story of the day, a Twitter post this week from the account at Redfall has announced the game will run on quality mode only. So in the post, it puts the Xbox Series X runs at 4K 30 frames per second. The Xbox Series S runs at 1440p 30 frames per second. The 60 frames per second performance mode will be added at a later date. As you can imagine, the internet barely noticed and didn't get mad at this tweet at all and didn't start console warring. 100% did. Redfall has already been delayed and now is launching in a state that some might say is incomplete. This news isn't the best to hear right before the launch of a game that you might have been anticipating. Some in the games media who'd already played this game did a preview on it, and it was at 60 frames per second and not 30. So everything that we have seen from this game has actually been PC 60 frames per second. This isn't the first game to release on next-gen consoles like this. Just recently, we had Gotham Knights that released at 30 frames per second. And as someone that loves the world of Gotham and DC, that game didn't run so well. So I've actually been anticipating this game, and it's not that this pisses me off. It annoys me because this is a shooter, and you want the better frames per second. I'm still going to jump into this game because it's on Game Pass. But Seth, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, as somebody who kind of is primarily a Nintendo gamer, Nintendo content creator and everything, I'm used to games not running at 60 frames per second, Court. So I look at this and I'm just kind of like, okay, like fine. But, the overall vibe that I'm hearing from people online is, look, these are next-gen games. Like, they should run at a next-gen fidelity. And by that metric, I totally understand. Like, if I were somebody who bought this powerful new hardware, spent all this money on it and stuff, like I would expect my games to run at 60 frames per second. So this kind of stinks. And the fact that they've said that like it's coming later down the line, well, your hype is already going to be popped and fizzled by then. So like if I were in the decision-making, camp over there, I personally think I would have just delayed it. I would have rather delayed it.
Let Zelda come out and just bring it out after Zelda or something. Like I feel like Xbox this generation has done so many amazing things. Like, but Aaron Greenberg put out a tweet at the beginning of this generation was like, our games are always going to be 60 FPS, like our first party. And I feel like their launches of their first party games are just stepping on themselves over and over again. And it's just weird to me. I don't understand why it continues to happen.
I hope the game is good. Like, I'm still looking forward to playing it, but yeah, it feels like you've taken a little bit of the wind out of Redfall's sails with this one, so that's unfortunate. But, Court, we did get some exciting news out of Nintendo this week. They have announced the first American Nintendo Live event happening this September. This is going to be Nintendo Live 2023, an in-person event for fans of all ages that will take place in Seattle this September. They say you can experience Nintendo Switch gameplay, live stage performances, tournaments, photo ops, and more. And of course, Nintendo is famous for the Nintendo Direct kind of digital format. They moved away from E3 properly several years ago at this point. Not super surprising. Nintendo Live is something they actually do in Japan and have since I think like 2018 or something. And it's not really a news oriented. Like I don't really expect announcements and news or presentations here. It's
celebration.
It's a con. It's a convention. It's a fan event. But what do you think about this one?
I think these are the perfect thing. Like, I know there was a lot of like, pour one out for E3 and a lot of people that were there, but the people that were really saying they were missing is a lot of the people in the press that actually went to it and they're like, you got to experience an E3. I thought watching E3 at home was just as good and you get the hype moment. I thought when PlayStation used to do these, I thought that was so cool. I never got to go to one, but when you go to it, we all like our specific consoles or we favor one or the other. Like I play on all of them. I have a lot of fond memories of Nintendo. This is something that if it was in my area, I would bring my kid to. She's loving the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Like this to me is just fun. It just sounds like something fun. And then there's a lot of fans of everything. So good on Nintendo for doing this. And I hope that Xbox and PlayStation follow suit and do the same. Have your events digital only. And then when you want to get the community together and just say, have fun, like, here you go. Like, are you going to go to this, Seth?
You know, my wife's family lives in that area, and I have some family members
yes.
in that area. So yeah, I want to go. Now, I'm curious when this is going to take place. The thought would be that this would be over Labor Day weekend, because they haven't announced a date yet. Labor Day weekend would make sense. You could have people with the extra time off of work and whatever bring their families, like you were talking about. So that would be what I would bet on. However, PAX West usually takes place during that weekend too. So,
okay,
going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
Could they do it at the same time?
Maybe.
It's like PAX West in Seattle?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in Seattle.
If I'm Nintendo, I do it at the exact same time.
Yeah, they might. They may well do that. So we'll see.
And then maybe announce, the new Mario game. Just be like, nothing's going to get announced here. And at the very end, oh yeah, by the way, new Mario game.
For funsies. Yeah, we'll see, man. They usually have a direct in September too. So I wouldn't be shocked if they drop a September direct and then they say, hey, come and watch, come to Nintendo Live and play some of the games.
Too perfect.
Yeah.
Too perfect. They could do it like the direct and have everybody outside and be like, here's the direct, but here's also a lot. They could bring the community together. Yep. And honestly, I'm going to call my shot here. If they did that, they would announce the new Mario game, because what bigger of a game, if you're at an event to be everybody talking about, would be a Mario game. Look how great the movie did. Yeah. The critics try and pan it, and the fan base is like, yeah, we're just going to make it the most purchased, seen animated movie ever in its opening week. But okay.
You heard it here first.
So speaking of things that are not so good, unfortunately, we're going to pour one out for Dreams. Media Molecule has announced this week they will be shutting down the live support to Dreams in September 23. Now, they put it in as a post because that's pretty much how all the news happens now.
Yeah.
As much as everybody pans on Twitter, all the news breaks on Twitter. So Media Molecule put up a post and said, as we continue to evaluate and evolve our priorities to the studio and Dreams, we've made the difficult decision to discontinue live support for Dreams after the 1st of September 2023 and shift our focus to a new exciting project. Please, please, please just give us a new Sackboy game, but like bring it back to what we used to do, please. You'll continue to be able to play, create, and share Dreams with others after September, but we won't be releasing more updates to the game and events such as DreamsCon, All Hallows Dreams, or Impy Awards. We're incredibly proud of the work we've done in developing Dreams, such as our content releases, create updates, and live events, and we're endlessly grateful for the community for their belief and continuous contribution to the site. Now, they had a question and answer part when you click on the link, and it says, will the live service support end? It will be releasing our last update right before September, so they will not be updating the game after it. You'll still be able to access and play Dreams. You'll still be able to create in Dreams. Yes, you'll still be able to access and play, create, and share Dreams after the September update. Okay. And that's the big caveat there. And I think that's actually very cool. A lot of people, when they first saw this news, are like, oh, the game's going away. I'm like, I actually say they're setting this up to this be in PlayStation Plus. So they're just not going to be adding any new assets to it or adding anything. So what the game is what it is. And I've never played this game because I just was like, meh, is it for me? And I love Little Big Planet. So my guess is here, this game will be the perfect game that in September, hey, guess what's coming to PlayStation Plus? Dreams is coming to PlayStation Plus. And I honestly think the game might get a little resurgence and maybe finally show Media Molecule that, you did make a good game, just didn't know how to release it properly.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that would be the perfect way to put Dreams on PlayStation Plus, get people playing it. Because that's the thing. The gut reaction here was like, oh my God, Dreams is dead. But it's not really. They're just not officially supporting it anymore. You can still make stuff, share stuff. The things that people have been able to make in Dreams is insane. Like, people have made like games, like actual games.
Yeah. They've like recreated PT and it looks exact same.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. I wish them all the best. I hope you're right. I would like to see this would be a great get for PlayStation Plus. But Court, the Nintendo ninjas are out. They're after the person who has leaked the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom art book over Discord, and they mean business. Chris Scullion from VGC writes, in February, with the game still some 3 months away from release at the time, someone posted images on Reddit under the username just Julian Offic and on Discord as Julian2743, claiming that a friend had sent them an interesting look at its art book. The book will be included with the collector's edition of the game, and according to the user, is a little over 200 pages in length. Those images appear to have been legitimate, and now Nintendo is attempting to find out who Julian is so that they can take legal action. Nintendo does not play when it comes to this. Leakers, hackers, whatever, they don't play. They have been known to get litigious with this, and they will again. They're going to find this person, and they're going to rake them through the coals. Court, what do you think about this?
I think it's great. It's one thing about Nintendo that I gotta give it to them. They don't mess around. Like, if you're creating content on YouTube or creating content, and if you use anything of theirs without their permission, they take it down. They're like, no, that's not gonna be it. I know a lot of creators always get on Nintendo about this and be like, we're advertising for you. But they've stuck to their guns. They'd be like, no, we do it our way. And then when stuff like this happens, 9 times out of 10, and like, I feel like it happens to Ubisoft every day. Nothing gets done about it, but Nintendo's like, no, you want to leak our stuff? We're going to ruin your life. You ruined ours, we'll ruin yours. And I don't think the leak did anything. It will do anything to the sale of probably the biggest game of this year. But good on Nintendo. Well, yeah, wow, I feel like I'm just reading sad news all this week. Well, Joseph Staten is leaving Xbox. As reported by Rebecca Valentine at IGN, Joseph Staten is leaving Xbox. Joseph Staten, head of creative for Halo Infinite and cinematic director for the first 3 Halo games, is leaving Microsoft, the company had confirmed to IGN. In this message, Microsoft did not say where Staten had headed next, nor the reason he was leaving Microsoft after 9 years. In quote, it says, "We're grateful for Joseph's contributions to Halo franchise and Xbox as a whole. The statement from Microsoft spoken read, we wish him all the best in his new adventure." Obviously, they're not going to say terrible things about it, but Staten himself came to Twitter and commented on IG reports saying, "Hey folks, I'm indeed leaving Microsoft. I'll have more info to share soon, but for now, I'd just like to thank all my Xbox colleagues for all their understanding and support as I embark on a new adventure." Staten had long been one of the best-known names behind the Halo franchise, having been the cinematic director on Combat Evolved, Halo 2, and Halo 3, and having served as lead writer on Destiny while at Bungie. Now, for me on this one, when they brought him into Infinite, I thought that was going to fix Infinite, but I still think he did the best in what he had. And I think this is more of like, hey, you know what? I got brought in Infinite, and I don't think he had as much fun as he thought coming back would be.
Yeah.
That is my read on this whole situation. He's like, I'm going to just go do my own thing. I hope he goes to Bungie and goes and works on Destiny or starts his own game. Like,
yeah.
I'm a big fan of Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. I have not been a big fan of any Halo game after and since. And I know that's like sacrilegious to say, but they just haven't spoken to me. And Destiny, when it first came out on the PlayStation 3 or 4, loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So I don't know, man. Good on him for leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I wish him all the best. I remember, those behind the scenes like Halo 2 documentary with Joseph Staten, and like he was kind of the talking head, and he is he was the main person behind one of my favorite games, Halo 3 ODST. So like I like him a lot. And yeah, I think they brought him in to Halo Infinite to sort of try to steer the ship, get him to the finish line. I have a friend who works at 343, and like the development of that game was a wreck. Like, it was very difficult for everybody involved. It is a small miracle that Halo Infinite wound up getting to the finish line at all. So good on him.
Did it get to the finish line though?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah, that's the thing. So,
still not done.
It's rough, but like they really did try their best with that game.
I'm sure they did.
And Joseph Staten, I think, did too, but I think he's ready to kind of step away. I think he's like, cool, I'm good. I'm going to go and do my own thing. Wish him all the best. Looking forward to seeing where he goes next. It'd be cool to see him go back to Bungie. We'll see what happens with that.
Honestly, like Destiny game, it's actually rather telling when you play Destiny. It's even when you haven't played in a long time, you hop back in. It's just good.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they just let Bungie do what Bungie does, and Destiny was an Xbox game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Would we still talk about Halo like we do, or would we talk about Destiny more? I'm interested because you know how console warriors get, and they stick to this franchise. And I remember when I reviewed Halo Infinite, people were not impressed with it's a 7.5.
Yeah.
They were like, no, this is Halo. And I'm like, but it's not that good.
We all love Halo. We all have a lot of love and nostalgia for Halo, and the people at 343 are good people. And we'll see what happens with the future of it. But Court, we do have a little bit of PlayStation news here because the new PlayStation Plus games for April have been announced. The list is good, and weirdly, there's a ton of Xbox games actually on the list.
I joked to you beforehand. It's like PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass games for April.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go over the list here. This is as announced on the PlayStation blog. At the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tier in the game catalog, we've got Kena Bridge of Spirits for PS4 and PS5, Doom Eternal, PS4 and PS5, Riders Republic, PS4 and PS5, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus for PS4, Slay the Spire for PS4, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, PS4 and PS5, The Evil Within, PS4, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, PS4, Bassmaster Fishing for PS4 and PS5.
Top of my list.
Yeah. Paradise Killer for PS4 and PS5, and Sackboy A Big Adventure for PS4 and PS5. And then at PlayStation Premium in the Classics line, we've got Doom 1, PS4, Doom 2, PS4, Doom 3, PS4, Doom 64 for PS4, and Dishonored Definitive Edition for PS4.
So 90% of these games are Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny list, right? Because we look at this.
And I want to add that Spider-Man PS4 is leaving the service, and everybody's losing their mind on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were sort of talking about this too with Spider-Man for PS4 leaving. My read on that is I feel like they're just wanting people to they're wanting to nudge people more and more in the PS5 direction, you know?
My feeling is this is a tonal Sony move, but they're going to be a couple months from now the new game for PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium is Spider-Man Remastered PS5. And act like it's like they're giving us something huge. Maybe around that June time when it's rumored we might be getting a Spider-Man 2, some more news about it. Maybe that's when they're like, hey, and for June's PlayStation Plus collection, you're getting Spider-Man PS5. I think we're just going to be getting this game on PS5. And it's no surprise to me that Sony does these things. We talked about this before. It's just what they do. It's like we're trying to make them do this other thing. Yes, we got spoiled the way Xbox does things, but you know what? Maybe if Xbox was in a higher place in the console wars, as they call them, maybe they do the same. It's all about the money, as you said to me before.
It is, and I think it's also kind of necessary in a weird way, like to start to sunset some of this PS4 stuff and treat it as that's the last console. You know, like at a certain point, we do need to move on to PS5. We do need to make that, and it's not ever going to be comfortable. People are always going to be burned by it, but like we do have to move on to PS5 exclusively at a certain point. And what is that point? You know, so when June rolls around, we're talking about Spider-Man 2, then it would be a great idea, to your point of saying, like, here, PS5, go ahead and pick it up. You're going to have Spider-Man on there. You're going to have Miles Morales on there. Get ready for the new one. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
It totally makes sense. So that was another episode of Carpool Weekly. We hope you found the information informative, and please leave us a comment and give us a like if you think we deserve it.
We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.